reconnecting. There we go. Perfect, perfect. I'm live. Crap. All right, we're doing it. Just give me a second, guys. Um, I've not done a stream in a while, and I'm not used to this, so I'm just trying to see if everything's working right. So, just give me 1 second. Okay. What's up? I see people already in the chat. What's up? Uh, just give me 1 second, but I'm just gonna make an announcement to the chat, and then we're gonna begin. So, I didn't know you guys would join that quickly, but thanks. But let's do this. I'll make an announcement in my server. Yep, I appreciate all of you who love my How to Make an Airline series, and I'm doing this stream kind of like to answer some questions about it and to show my development progress for the airline so far. I'm still working on episode 7 though. I think I'm gonna have episode 7 coming out in like maybe a few days, like maybe around January 3rd I'll have it out, but still working on that. Well, let me just make the announcement. All right, I just made the announcement. All right, so let me read through the chat. Episode 7 will be about airline advertising. Well, it's going to be about a lot of things. It's mainly like what I didn't cover in the previous episodes because this is going to be the last episode before we have our flight. But the main one people have been asking me about is how to advertise your airline. So I think that's a topic that will help a lot of people because I feel like a lot of people can manage the development aspect of the airline and maybe even management. They just need people to join the airline. So I think that's a big part. So yeah, I really want to go over covering that, but there's also a lot of other like smaller details like how to protect your airline from raids and exploits, which as some of you may have seen, Kiwi Air did get raided about a week ago. So I think it's also an important thing to cover how to like prevent being raided and stuff like that, because that could happen as if with any Discord server. And let's see. How many episodes will there be? Yes, there's gonna be 8 episodes in total. The 7th one's coming out soon, and the 8th episode is just the flight itself, our first flight, which we're aiming for a flight to be on January 10th. So that is lovely. Let me just read through the chat. Give me 1 second. Also, what is your opinion on a SkyTrain at an airport? If it's a really big airport, then yes, you should definitely use a SkyTrain, but be careful because they could glitch really easily, and you should also have an alternative thing to use if the SkyTrain doesn't work. Because I've noticed with a lot of airlines, half of the time their SkyTrain won't even work. So I would keep that in mind. Are you hiring HR, MR, or more LRs? So we just hired a couple of HRs. The thing is, I don't need too many HRs since we're just a small airline. I just need people to like manage my departments and trainings basically. And for LRs, since we're only doing a flight, I'm debating whether I should continue running Kiwi Air after, because a lot of people are suggesting that I still keep running Kiwi Air after, and I might consider it. We'll just have to see where things go after the first flight. But right now the plan is just to do one flight only, because I don't want to, we hire all these people and then we only do one flight and then they don't even get a chance to work. So maybe we might do a couple more flights, but again, there is an offer about selling the airline as well. So also, if you're wondering about LR applications, cabin crew and flight deck did get released. We're still waiting on ground crew because our ground crew head of department is currently not online right now, so I'm just waiting for him to get online. And since he's the one who's managing all the applications, I don't want to, do it for him. So okay, Let's see. Also, if you guys noticed, I have gotten a new microphone. This is also I'm also doing the stream kind of test my new microphone. I had to tweak a bunch of the settings, and it does sound pretty good, a lot better than my old mic. Which that other mic is a piece of crap. I do not want to talk about that. It gave me so many problems. But the only problem is every little noise I make on my desk or something, you can hear it. So I either need to get like a what do you call like an arm for your mic, and I just attach it to my desk, or just make sure the mic's not physically attached to my desk. So that's still working that out, but I do like the way how it sounds though. So it was a little Christmas gift for me. But let me continue reading. So I'm gonna read through the chat a little, and then we're gonna go ahead and get some development work done because I am in a rush. I need to get this development done as soon as I can because all the HRs are waiting for me for it. So let me continue reading. When will you DM us on if you passed? So if you passed as flight deck and cabin crew, you should have been DM'd already, but for ground crew, you will have to wait a bit. So ground crew are not out yet. Unfortunately, we're not hiring staff anymore. We just closed applications. It was open from the 19th and then I closed it yesterday. So it was open for about 10 days. If you want to DM me about your airline's branding, sure, I don't mind. I can take a look at it. The Discord link, oh, I should probably put that in. That's actually a pretty good idea. So I'll put it in the description of the video if you would like to join the airline's Discord. But or I'll just put it in the chat. There you go. And then I'll just pin the message. Hello everyone. But yeah, let's show you what's been going on. So our anticipated release date is January 10th, 2026, and this is our airport that you've seen in all the videos. This is Kiwi Air. Let me run you down with what I still need to do. So the aircraft itself is complete. I'll show you the aircraft later, but the gates, I feel like I could add some more details to the gate area because it feels kind of lifeless and empty here. I'll definitely be adding like a bunch of balloons and like some stuff to like show it's like a celebration and stuff. So I definitely will be doing something like that. I'll see what I can do. I need to put all the NPC shop systems still. I did one of them just for the video, but I still need to put the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. But that's not really a big priority right now. We can do that like towards the end. The security gates here, there's a little glitch with the security system where it just keeps you stuck on the screen. So I need to fix that, and that's going to be a pain in the butt. Self check-in system, it like for some reason whenever you use it, it like brings your character to the floor, which I need to fix that as well. And then I had to redo the baggage system, which is what I'm going to do right now, is figure out how to set up the baggage system again because it wasn't working. And then fix a bit of this design because this looks kind of ugly over here. And I don't know, I'm not the most happy with the check-in design, so I would also want to make some changes to the check-in design. But what else? The lounge I need to redo completely. I do not like the way this lounge looks, so I'm gonna see what I can do and whatever changes I can make. And then I just need to insert the destination airport, and then I'm basically like the airport's ready to go, and I just need to glitch proof it and exploit proof it and all that. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So let's show you the aircraft first, because that's actually what I actually want to show you how the aircraft looks. I've redone the interior and everything, so let me go ahead and switch that real quick. All right. So this is the aircraft right here. This is the livery you all are familiar with, but I've gone ahead and done the interior. I've redone like the seats and everything. Sorry, but as you see what I've done, I've made like the premium cabin and then the economy cabin, right? I've gone ahead and added like a little like decorations, like a menu thing, and then a safety information card, then like a magazine. I think this is a nice little thing to add, and it definitely adds like to the detail of the airline. Like it's another way of like adding your branding into the airline, and I think it's just a good way of making your airline stand out a bit more. And then I got this little like design over here that also helps like make your cabin like make it unique towards your airline. That's what I was talking about a lot in episode 3. So Also, I redone the seats. I changed some of the textures and the colors, and I think it looks a lot better now. Honestly, I wasn't really vibing with the green color for the seats, but I really want to match it with the airline theme, so that's what I've done. Uh, and then the economy seat's the same over here. So, pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely not the best, but it's a good like cabin to start with, definitely. Uh, and yeah, that is pretty much the plane. Let's read your guys' chat real quick. I see you have a lot to say. Dave, do you need developers? I don't really need developers for Kiwi Air, maybe for FlyJ, but I'm really just managing all the development aspect by myself. Will you be revamping some of the stores inside the airport? I will be revamping some of them because there's some that I don't really like, but yeah. It looks slash feels weird that I just flew to Gold Coast like 3 days ago. Well, that's funny. Well, if you join our flight on January 10th, you're gonna do the same thing but on Roblox, and we'll be flying to New Zealand. So I don't know if that's where you flew in real life, but the check-ins look really good. Thank you. I just think like the check-ins are fine. It's just I think I could do some more within like this area. I can make this area look nicer, but and also this area here just feels so like lifeless and boring. So yeah. What else is there? Is this a bot map? Yes, I purchased this airport for 1,700 Robux. And the destination one I'm purchasing, I'm going to be purchasing it for like 1,300. But they're pretty good airports because the scenery on here is insane. Like, I really like the scenery. The only problem I have with the scenery is that the scaling is off completely. Like, let me show you. If I, like, let's say, insert my character, right? So let's say if I insert my character, ignore my avatar, but if I insert my character, look how off the scaling is. I understand why the developers would do this, but the issue with it is that when you're like, I've done like a couple test flights, when you're flying over it, it looks like you're flying at like supersonic speeds, like you're on a Concorde or something, and that bothered me a little bit. So I'm wondering if I could somehow scale it to make it even bigger, just to make it slightly more realistic. So I'm gonna try doing that. But yeah, let me delete this so I don't forget. But oh, you guys can't see anything. Oh my god, great. Okay, let's redo everything I just did because I forgot to switch the screen. My bad, guys. But I can't believe I would do that. This is why I don't do streams, because I'm not really the best at it. But, you know, maybe if I did it more, I'd become better at it. You know, practice makes perfect. But let's redo that one more time. All right, now you guys should be able to see. So, all right, let me read some more questions, and then I'll be done. I'm using Aerotech because I'm broke. That's fine. You know, if you're beginning an airline, don't feel bad if you're not using the highest quality technology at the moment. Just use what you got to do, and then just upgrade from there. So that's what I did. Like, guys, you think... Even for me, running an airline at the beginning was not quick. I mean, not easy either. The first airline I ever had, we like really struggled, and it really just takes a lot of time and practice to perfect your airline. So yeah. Airware is the best in my opinion. I agree, but also you might want to check out Aerotech. They're kind of a new one. They've also had some really good aircrafts come out. I've heard from Abby Awards. Like, check out their 777 as well. They have some pretty good aircrafts there. Can I be dev for FlyJ? I'm not hiring any devs right now currently. Apologies for that. I flew from Melbourne to Gold Coast, but never been to New Zealand. Yeah, so Kiwi Air is a New Zealand-based airline, given the name Kiwi Air. So I have nothing to do with New Zealand, by the way. I live in California, like the complete opposite, almost like side of the globe from where New Zealand is. So I just want to let y'all know that. So you sound kind of AI. I don't know if it's with the new mic or just I just woke up, but yeah, I don't like recording in the mornings for this reason. So, but I have work later today, and like the morning's the only available time I have to do the stream, so that's why I'm here. Can you show me around? I can't show the airport around for passengers because it's still in development, but you know, when the flight comes around, you can definitely see it. How long am I streaming? Probably 2 hours. So at around like Actually, 1.5 hours I'll probably have to go, so to get ready for my job. I'm becoming chief position. I'll think about that. I don't know if I need any more positions currently, but I'll think. I pronounce it like Melbourne. I don't know how it's pronounced in how Australians pronounce it, but yeah. Um, how old am I? I'm not gonna say exactly how old I am, but I will give you hints. So this next year, 2026, I'm going to be graduating from high school this year. So you can take a guess of how old I am from there. I'm going to be graduating high school in 2026. So just saying. Um, where did buy the map from? I bought it from Encore. It's spelled Encor. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Yeah, it's currently 8:36 a.m. for me right now, and I plan to get off at like 10. So the problem is the annoying thing about being Pacific Standard Time is that you're kind of like behind from all the other major time zones. Like I think PST is just the last major time zone. So especially on New Year's, you see how like everyone's like already celebrating, and then you're kind of just like the last one. So I guess that's the only like downside of being PST. But yeah. 3:36. I'm assuming you're in Europe, either GMT or like CET time zone. All right, let's continue what I was talking about because my screen wasn't working. So, the check-in area, I think it's fine. I kind of realized how this kind of looks a bit ugly because I don't really like the color scheme for this, but I'm gonna keep this no matter what. I do want to add some more details to like the bag drop area, and then maybe even put some toilets. I don't know if I'll have time to do that, but and then this kind of looks a bit ugly. I want to redo that because I want to make it look more like this one. And then um let's go over here. I want to show you guys, this is what I was talking about. So this map, this airport that I bought has really good scenery, but there's just one issue with it. The scaling is like completely off. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So the scaling is completely off, and if I like put my character for reference, like don't get me wrong, like using like the 3D like satellite scenery is really nice. Like I really like it. I've seen a lot of airlines starting to use it now, and I think it's really good. But if I put in my character, my avatar, right? Just ignore the avatar. Don't worry about that. But you see how the scaling's completely off? I feel like I'm like a beast walking through the city here. So I'm gonna figure out if there's a way to kind of like increase the scale. And why I'm talking about this is because I've done some test flights, and if you fly over the map, it looks like you were flying at supersonic speeds over the scene, like over the houses and stuff. Like you're in a Concorde or something, and I feel like that's a bit off. So I want to see what I can do to maybe like increase the size of this. So I'll definitely be working for that. But yeah. All right, let's read some more questions, and then I will finally get to work on development. I really need to fix the baggage system because my HRs are waiting for me to fix it. So I need to get that done, and then I'll be fixing up some other stuff. And also, you can also see how like this setting up technology looks like. So, could you please help with my airline? This is a question that everyone always asks me, and I'm sorry, but I can't because I'm just really busy with this one, and I'm busy with school and stuff, and I'm working because I gotta make money somehow, guys. So, and also I'm going to college next year, so I don't think I'm gonna be any less busy next year either. So, yeah. When will the new trainees be trained? If you were accepted, you would have gotten some information on how the training process works. So. You're Australian, not Europe. Hold on, let me read back. 3:37 a.m. I thought I said PM. That's why. I'm sorry about that. Mm, Do you have any tips for that? If you're okay, so if you're trying to build an airport in real life, or like burn airport in Switzerland, you should, um, I'd say you should try basing it off the real life airport. I noticed if you have like a real life airport to reference, it's a lot easier to build it because you already know what to build. You're not thinking of ideas. So if you really based off of like the real life airport, it helps a lot. So like if you look at images, satellite view of the airport, like images of the interior, even videos. I'm currently building a Fort Lauderdale airport right now. I'm just really slow on it with development because I'm kind of focusing on this right now. Um, I'm just watching a bunch of videos. I've been there in real life as well, but I forgot to take pictures. But I kind of have an idea of what it's like there. And then it also helps if you've been there in real life. I'm not gonna lie. So, uh, but yeah, that would be my best advice, I guess. But what are the best GOP equipment you can get for your airline? What do you mean by that? Is that like like technology or stuff in general that you could get for your airline? If you could be a bit more specific on that, I'd appreciate that. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's finally do some work. I'm tired of not tired, but we're gonna stop rambling. I'm going to set up the ground crew. I mean not ground crew, the baggage system. So I'm gonna be using the one from Prop, as many of you may know, and um, I'm just going to insert it into the airport right now. Let's go ahead and do that. I have bag system. All right, I don't think that worked. Did I put it in? No, okay, it didn't work. Let me try it again. Give me a second. Oh, I see. I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm putting in the folder instead of the actual file. What's going on? Hold on, my thing is bugging out. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find the asset thing. When did I buy it? Okay, let's. All right, I see. I see. So I just gotta extract this. Replace the file. There we go. Now I've gotten it in. I'm such a genius, guys. Ground crew GOPs. Okay. So with ground crew, it's a bit tricky. So I argue that there's not really many options for ground crew vehicles. A lot of, I'd say, ground crew vehicles have been monopolized into two tech groups, Prop and Emisu. So you're really gonna get the best ground crew technology from those two tech groups. I covered that in episode 2. I'm using a mix of Prop, like the catering truck and air stairs, and the GPU units are all Prop, and then the pushback tug and the fuel truck is from Emisu, and then the baggage system's also from Prop. If you want affordable ground crew vehicles, I know they have a pack at I think the tech group was Skyhanger. Let me check that real quick. I think it was at Skyhanger or Unify or something like that. I don't know, but let me just take a look real quick. Yeah, it's at Skyhanger. They have a ground crew pack, but I don't think it's like functional. Like you could actually like use them. It's more just for like decoration. But like the functional ones are from Prop and Emisu. The problem is they can be expensive. Like just an air stair alone could be like 500 Robux, I think. So it could be a bit pricey, but I think it's worth the investment. in my opinion. Okay, where's the best place for liveries? There's a lot of tech groups that do livery designs, but honestly, if it's a mesh plane, like I covered in episode 3, it's not that hard to do a mesh livery, if I'm being completely honest. It's really easy. You're basically just drawing it. But I assume if you want to do a complex livery, like, or maybe you're trying to base it off a real life airline, you could use like a livery service because they could probably be better at that. So, um, let's read through this chat real quick. Haven't run. What airport is it? This airport is Gold Coast Airport in Australia. Uh, yeah. Also, if you guys hear this like thumping noise, like I just like listened through the stream and apparently it's like really apparent. I would like to apologize for that. Um, so yeah. But I'm just testing out my new mic. That's also why I'm doing this. Stream. But I'm gonna fix it so it doesn't sound like that in the videos. But um, Jay, you can teleport to a part when by clicking F, LMFAO. Hopefully you knew that. What do you mean by that? I feel like there's something I don't know, but all right, enough chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and set up this ground crew system, baggage system. So if you guys also want to know how to set up this, because I know a lot of you are going to use this for your airline, there's many parts that come with it. So this goes on the plane. I already have this on the plane, so I'm not going to need this. These vehicles you'll need. Always read through the settings because they show you how to actually set it up. So as you see here, manual, they give it in a Google Doc, so just open the Google Doc and read it through there. I guess it's more convenient for them. It shows you how to set it up, and then you also want to put in your group IDs here, so I'm going to go ahead and configure all that right now. Do that. Click apart workspace and press. Is that actually work? Hold on, I gotta try this. Press K, press F. Click on a random part when selected if it's too far. If you click F while selecting that part, you can TP to it. What? You can do that? I did not know that. What the heck? Has this always been a feature, or is this like a new update? Because I know they've been doing a lot of updates to Roblox Studio lately, but I did not know that because that's... Okay, I have to give you a little story. So whenever I'd insert my destination, my dumb self would like, move like this all the way to the destination, which, it could be pretty far, right? And so I would spend like a good 10 minutes just zooming in like this, trying to get to the destination, not knowing that you could do that. I feel like a complete... I don't even want to say it on stream because I'm trying to keep it family friendly, but you can assume what I'm about to say next, but I did not know about that. Guys, I may be a developer, but I'm not the most advanced developer. I still learn new things, but that's great to know, I guess. I did not know that, but how do I pick the airlines to review? That's a good question. It's mainly based on my availability. So if I can see a flight that I'm available to go on, that's when I'll go. But I don't know. I feel like I've been distancing myself from flight reviews a bit lately, but I hope to get back into more like voice commentary flight reviews since I feel like people enjoy that a lot more than just my boring time lapse ones. The main reason why I haven't been doing it is just I really have not been happy with the old mic that I had. I think it didn't sound the best. The quality wasn't great at all. So I hope with this new mic, after I tweak some settings a bit more, I can use this mic for the voice commentary reviews and it'll sound a lot better. So how are you? I'm great. How are you? I'm ready for the new year. I'm ready for Kiwi Air to start launching. I'm really happy with how the aircraft turned out and this airport. This airport's really nice. Like usually when I would buy when I buy like an airport, I'm usually not happy with it and I have to make a lot of changes to it, but I'm really happy with this one, so I really haven't had to make much changes to it. So yeah. All right, let's set this up. So I'm gonna get my Just give me 1 second, guys. So let's go ahead and set this up. So we got the settings here, right? Group ID. You put the group ID, system rank ID. I'm just gonna give it all to my staff. So command flights, backpacks, and then this I don't think is needed. But okay, there's that. And then what you need to do basically is these are the ground crew vehicles. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this to where the ground crew area is. Which I don't know if I have it. Yeah, I don't think I have it yet. So I'm just going to crap. I'm running out of space. Let's go ahead and delete these. I don't really need these. These are just static ones. Put that there, and then we'll put. These are baggage conveyor belts. This is what you use to load them onto the plane. By the way, I love the baggage system because it is so nice, like being able to load bags on the plane. Like I think it's a really realistic thing to do. So it's really nice, honestly. Really adds to the realism. So that's why I suggest getting this kind of baggage system. It is like almost 1,000 Robux though. So if you have that kind of Robux, I'm just saying you should definitely get it. Hmm. What is the worst airline you've ever reviewed? Hmm. I wouldn't say like there's like a worst airline I've reviewed, but there's airlines that have certain flaws in some aspects compared to others, and um, trying to think like because I don't want to really put any shade on any airlines to be honest, but you also need to have constructive criticism. That's the point of airline reviews. You can't just sugarcoat airlines and be like, oh, this airline is so good, even though there's like stuff they genuinely need to work on, just so you like feel so you don't feel bad. But um, I reviewed. I don't want to put any shade, but I did review South Pacific Airways recently, and I really was not impressed with their like scenery and destination, especially for an airline that size. I feel like they could have put a lot more effort into it. I'm sure that they have better destination and scenery airports at their other airports, but at the one I did the flight at, I wasn't the most impressed with it. Like even with airlines like Ryanair, like I wasn't served properly, like even those kind of things. And then um I'm just trying to think what else. I will admit with a lot of smaller airlines there tend to be more flaws because they aren't as experienced. So I try not to put too much shade. Like I don't want to be like, "Oh, your airline sucks," but it's important to give constructive criticism. It's also kind of risky for us as airline reviewers because a lot of airline owners they could take things personally and then they just get really mad at you and then they'll like ban you for no reason and stuff like that. It's definitely possible for just giving constructive criticism, but I'm not afraid of that like cuz as an airline reviewer, that's kind of my duty to provide constructive criticism. So, just whatever people say to you, just take it with a grain of salt and just use it to improve. Like, look, when I ran an airline back in like 2020, 2021, I was getting a lot of criticism for how my airline sucked. And yes, it did hurt my feelings a little bit, I will admit, but it helped me understand what I was doing wrong. Excuse me for that voice crack. Oh God, but it helped me understand what I was doing wrong and what to improve. And eventually, I did improve. And more you like practice, well not practice, but like develop your airline. The more you get familiar with everything, you know how the whole process works and everything. Like for me, I didn't have anyone really teach me how to run airlines. This is all based off my own knowledge and how I see from other airlines, how they operate, and I'm just putting what I know to use. So, um, it's I'd say a lot of people they're just really impatient and it just requires a lot of patience. That's just what a lot of people need to accept. It just requires patience. Anyway, enough with my rant about that. How can I be more efficient building my airport at the same time as making it correct? Making it correct. Let me think. Making it correct, like making it accurate to like other airports. Is that what you mean? I'll get back to you on that. But am I good at CSG modeling? No, I'm not good at CSG modeling at all. If you saw me in episode 3, I don't know why I even decided to like show you guys how to do a CSG livery, but no, I'm CSG modeling is just a lot harder, and that's what they used to do in row aviation before mesh planes got introduced, and mesh planes kind of just revolutionized row aviation, I guess. Because before, like, I'd say even like I think around 2019 is when mesh planes started getting introduced. But before that, all the planes were pretty much CSGs. So um, I feel like my project takes forever, and I don't get much done at a time, almost nothing. If I'm be honest, I go through the same thing too. That's just the reality of it. You just need to do a little bit every day, even if it feels like if it doesn't feel like much, because eventually it adds on. You just need to stay consistent. That's all. Um, there were times like me where like I would spend the whole day just building the airport and trying to get as much progress as I can. But I definitely get what you mean by that. It doesn't feel like you're putting much progress, but you just need to do a little at a time. That's why some airports they take forever to build. It also depends on how big your airport is as well. So, um, let me try. Oh, there was one more thing I want to say. Like, yeah, during like quarantine back in 2020, I was pumping out airports like crazy, even if they weren't the best looking airports. It still helped with my like gaining my development experience and building airports because every airport I built it was slightly better and better and better. So um but that was COVID. Like, everyone had a bunch of free time. That's also why I got into like fully into aviation because I just was bored out of my mind. So um it's just through practice as well. So you need to do a series making an airline using free stuff like Dallas Tech and free models. Here's a problem with that. The thing is, if you're gonna run an airline with just free models, you're not like I try to embrace the idea of like running an airline with free models because I know everyone can't afford Robux and all this high quality tech. But the reality is, I just don't know if your airline could succeed. Well, I think it could. Like, there's potential. I just think there's a less chance if it was using free models because free models itself have a bad reputation, and I feel like a lot of people in the community won't really value your airline if they're just using free models. So, um, one more thing I want to say. Let me think about it. I was trying to embrace that idea, like especially in my old series I did a couple years ago, like using free tech. But it would be a lot harder to like succeed within your airline if you're just using free tech. Like, it's okay to begin with, and use some free tech. You don't want to use like all of it as free tech, but like you want to use maybe you want to use a little bit. But like at some point you definitely would want to upgrade that and not like hold on to it for long. Maybe if there's some idea you have where you can make it work, it's definitely a possibility. I'm not saying you can't run a successful airline with free models. I'm just saying it's less likely and just the reputation free models have and how people view it. So, um, is that prop right? Yeah, I'm using a lot of the prop ground crew vehicles. Correct. So, and then what else is it? Very detailed airport IRL. I agree on that. I would love to be a ROAV YouTuber. What airline should I start with? So, just start with the popular airlines, like with the basic ones like Oman, Qatar. Well, I think Qatar's been rebranded now, but there's a lot of the basic popular airlines I would start with just so you can kind of get in the habit of posting videos. And just so you know that with becoming a ROAV YouTuber, it takes also just like running an airline. It takes a lot of time to like, I guess, get popular somewhat. I guess like if you check the videos I used to post, like I was pumping out a bunch of airline reviews, but they were only getting like 200, 300 views. It's all about like building a name for yourself. So, you need to build a name for yourself so your community can recognize you and not just like, oh, he just posts videos and stuff like that. So, also with airline reviews, I think try being a bit unique with like how you pump out your videos. Like, don't. I mean, it's fine doing it this way. You can be like, you can title your video, "Oh, Qatar Airways flight review," but I try to title my videos differently to kind of seem more uh like I try tiling it different so it like could catch the viewer's attention more. I'll try thinking of an idea like, oh, this airline has insane tech. Oh, this is the most popular airline on Roblox, kind of stuff like that. And I feel like it's kind of a way to grab the viewer's attention. That's what I try doing, and I think it's better. It's a good way, kind of just to capture the audience, basically. So it's kind of hard to do, especially you have to be very selective with the airlines you need to review to kind of like come up with those creative um titles. But I think it really does help. So yeah, just because with it becoming a Rob YouTuber, just become very consistent. You have to maintain consistency. Like I guarantee you, if I posted a lot more, I'd be a lot more popular than I already am. It's just, um, I'm trying my best. So I hope in 2026 I can become even more active. I did kind of fulfill my New Year's 2025 promise of like actually being active, and I was somewhat active like for the most part of the year. But I hope to become even more next year. So let's read. Did you buy? Yes, I bought this airport. I didn't build it because I don't really have time to build airports right now. All right, that's all the questions I've answered. Let's get back to actually doing this. So, we got the baggage loaders here. Then we need to move the bag carts as well. Where did I put them? They're over here. So, we're gonna go ahead and move these over here. I could do the teleport thing, but I figured since this is pretty close by, I don't really need to do it. I'm glad I got that advice though to like teleport to the blocks because I'm gonna put in the New Zealand destination airport tonight when I get back from work, and it'll make it a lot easier. So I do appreciate that. All right, sorry for being quiet there. I was just checking the stream, but all right, that's not the hard part. The hard part is like putting the right conveyor belts. Like you see, there's a bunch of like pieces right here. You need to figure out what to do. So this I don't need because I already have it. This is what you got to figure out. So you got to open the document. You're not gonna see it on screen, but I'm gonna read through it. But they also have video guides. Okay, that's pretty useful. So departure drop. Move the detector and conveyor to your check-in conveyor belt and move seat into the check-in seat. So this is okay. So for this part, we just need to move this part into the airport right here. So this is our check-in area right here. So we're essentially just gonna move this in right over here, and I don't know where it went. Here. Why does it do that sometimes? So Roblox Studio can be a bit buggy. Like, unless I'm doing something wrong, it can sometimes be like that, and it can get a bit annoying. But I'm just gonna move it like this and just move it in like that. Let's see. Why not have ground crew vehicles spawnable instead of just lining them up like this? Wouldn't it help reduce lag a bit? Yes, we could do that. Usually what I do is I just like to have some inserted already. So, 'cause sometimes when you insert vehicles, they don't insert properly and they end up glitching. Like if I try inserting the fuel truck, it'll just glitch and fly out the map because I don't know, the fuel truck I'm using right now, like it has some issues. So, but if I just keep it in game like that, it usually does it. But I try like using the ground crew vehicles I already have, and then I delete the ones we don't just to reduce lag. And I also have insert codes in case we need more. So I'm glad you brought up about that though. So let's move this. Okay. So as we see, we have to move it here like this. We need to flip it the other way first of all. So when you put it like this, basically, the gray brick right here is what prompts like the user to place their bag, basically. So Let's read what it says. Yes, the baggage system is from Prop. And hello, George. Um, when will you host the flight? I'm flying January 10th. So, uh, you know what the best tech groups are for airports? I went over that in episode 2. I forgot what airports I mentioned. Alessi Tech's one of them. They have like one of the best like higher quality airports. But if you want to go to episode 2, I did list that, so you can go ahead and check. Um, Jay, do you know you can press 104 to change tools? Yeah, I know that, but I think it's just easier for me to just click it. So, um, but it's just easier for me to like. I don't know. I like going like this. I don't know why, but uh, Jay, how much does a low budget airline cost to make? I can't really give you that answer because it really depends what technology you use. If you want to use like higher quality technology or not. So it just really depends on what standards you want to set for your airline. So I suggest to make the conveyor visible. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I know what you mean. I'm going to do that. I'm just trying to set up the basics right now to like ensure it functions, and then I will go through the details later because I'm trying to get the bag system working as soon as I can because my HRs like really need it. So I know what you mean though. Like I'm obviously going to do that. So, but for now, I'm just trying to focus on this, like just making sure it works first before putting the detail in. Because I was setting it up before and then it ended up not working. Well, it did work and then for some reason it stopped, so I'm just setting it up again um just to like make sure I'm doing the process right. Um Call the departure drop the detector and conveyor belt. Do not move out of checking group. So that's maybe what I did wrong because you're supposed to keep everything in the folders here, and that's probably what I didn't do last time. That's probably why it wasn't working. Okay. So I think this is all we need to do, but I'm just trying to figure out. I realize I've just kind of come to an issue because you see how like these two seats are going to share one conveyor belt. I'm just trying to figure out how I could make it so they could use the same conveyor belt. Okay, we're definitely out. Okay, let me fix this first. So let's make this invisible. Or we can make it look like this one as well. That also works. Oh yeah, there you go. That looks a lot better. There we go. We could do that as well. Um, okay, let's not worry about that. I just want to make sure it works first, and then I'll worry about that later. So I'm gonna go in the game and test it in just a bit to see if it works. So you guys will get to see me testing the Yeah, I see what you mean, Matt. I'm gonna try doing that, but I'm just gonna like do one and just make sure like it's actually functional first, and then I'll duplicate the rest. So, because I don't want to do it all first, and if it's something works, I gotta go through everything. So, um, that's done. I believe that's all you need to do for this part. I don't think you need to make this invisible. Maybe. I don't know if it goes invisible by itself or you need to make it invisible yourself. I think you need to make it invisible, so I'm just gonna do that. Um, Yeah, I could have it divided in the middle, but there's like not enough space for that, and I might just need to like go through all this. I don't know. I'll see if the method I want to use works as well.